Hello and welcome to this video, which includes a flight, a motorcycle purchase, a road trip, and a ferry ride. Let's get started. The day started in Wellington Airport, from where I'd booked a flight down to Timaru, a small city about halfway down the South Island, total flight time an hour and 20 minutes, distance 440 kilometres or 280 miles. It was a small aircraft and a very smooth takeoff, and soon we were treated to a magnificent view of the mountains of the South Island. Just as I was enjoying the view, it was time to start the descent and landing. The day was fine and clear, and I met the seller of the bike at the airport. After introductions and coffees, it was time to pack my gear onto the bike and ride away. Plan was to ride as far as Christchurch on the first day, a distance of around 160 kilometres or 100 miles, using the scenic inland route. Well, here we are. Picked up the bike and we're off out of Geraldine, heading towards Mount Hutt. Since I'd taken the inland scenic route, I decided that it would be worth getting off the bike a few times just to have a look at some of the beautiful scenery around the area. As a North Islander, this is not the kind of scenery that I'm accustomed to, so I really felt like a tourist in my own country, seeing some of this kind of stuff. As much fun as exploring the area was, I had promised someone in Christchurch a visit, so I decided to press on. Soon enough, the beautiful country roads gave way to city traffic, and I made my way to the motel I'd booked to take a quick shower and get changed. Hey everyone, well, I've reached Christchurch and I'm in the motel and I've had a shower already and cleaned up and feel quite a bit more human. So the first day of riding on the Kawasaki W800, I have to say it was a heap of fun. Had a fantastic ride, weather was good, I went the inland route as I mentioned before, and traffic wasn't too bad, scenery was great, snow on the mountains. All in all, it was a fantastic ride. So looking forward to leg 2 tomorrow, from Christchurch up to Picton and then across to Wellington on the ferry. So this is the route for Saturday, starting in Christchurch and heading to the ferry terminal at Picton, a straight shot up Highway 1, 337 kilometres or around 210 miles.
Good morning everyone. Well, it's a lovely cold Christchurch morning. I'd promised myself to be on the road by 7 AM. I've just missed that by about 10 minutes. Temperature is about 2 degrees outside, so I'm very grateful for all this gear that I'm wearing. So, let's roll. BP, time to grab some fuel. Where are we? Pump number 4. $26. Okay, so it looks like a fine, calm day again. I have been blessed with weather, it seems, for this trip. So now, first order of business is to get out of the outer suburbs of Christchurch and be on my way up north along Highway 1, making a couple of stops along the way. Hi, so here I am, about halfway between Christchurch and Kaikoura, and I think the next little town along the way is going to be Cheviot. So just stopped off the bike for a quick refreshment and found this lovely little lay-by rest area kind of thing by the roadside. So just thought I'd get off the bike and take in a little bit of sun, thaw out, stretch a little bit, and then carry on along the way.
Welcome to the little town of Cheviot, where I really hope they've heard of coffee. There seems to be a cafe here that is calling to me. Well, here we are arriving to Kaikoura. So it would be rude not to detour into the town centre, I feel. I had originally planned to stop in Kaikoura for lunch as well as fuel. However, on looking at the time, I realised if I did that, I would likely miss my ferry in Picton. I still had around 150 kilometres to ride, so reluctantly, a trip through the town centre was the only indulgence I had time for. A quick fuel stop later, and I was back on the way, trying not to be too distracted by the beautiful snow-covered mountains of the Kaikoura Ranges that dominate the landscape.
Well, this is Picton. The end of the road as far as South Island is concerned.
After checking in for the ferry, I was queue-jumped to the front of all the waiting vehicles and then directed to ride aboard. Having never done a crossing with a motorcycle before, I really didn't know what to expect, but on everyone's advice, I'd brought tie-downs with me, which I ended up using to secure the bike to the deck. After the bike was fastened in place, I went to the passenger deck to enjoy the crossing. The ferry crossing was beautifully smooth, and I enjoyed the opportunity to sit and relax, and go outside onto the deck to experience the fresh air. I was the only motorcycle on this crossing, so there were no other bikers to go and hang out with. So instead I went into the cafe and enjoyed the overpriced food, making up for the lunch I missed in Kaikoura. Soon enough the ferry docked in port at Wellington, and it was time to ride home after a thoroughly enjoyable weekend.